right, man. Let's get this in, man. I told everybody I wanted to do a live shows either yesterday afternoon or from this morning. So we decided to go with this morning. We seen what happened with the Packers last night. They lost to the Eagles. I pretty much watched it all the way down until I think the Eagles might have kicked the field goal at the end or something like that. And yeah, I watched it to that point, and then I woke up this morning and seen that Jordan Love got actually injured, and I actually like Jordan Love. Even going back to when he played at Utah State, I get Utah and Utah State mixed up, but yeah, I actually like Jordan Love, man. And seeing 5 minutes left or 5 seconds, 4 seconds left in the game, and he blew out his knee pop. So we don't know. Sometimes it could be a small meniscus tear. Sometimes it might be a sprain. They just picked up Malik Willis as their backup quarterback. Today we got Michigan probably getting slaughtered by Texas as well too. But I send all the best wishes out to Jordan Love. Hopefully he has a speedy recovery. I know a lot of y'all have the mindset of oh man, he go down, we definitely gonna win the division. Canaan, nah. I like to be. I don't want to see see my he a stand up dude not being able to feed his family, and then two. Um, I want to beat teams when they at their best. That's a loser's mentality when you go out here and you don't want to beat these guys at their best. You want to beat these guys when they have injury. Oh, well, they top receiver out, they top running back out, or oh, we got a chance. We got a chance. If we don't, if I can't beat the team at their best, I don't want to beat them anyway. Shout out to Alex. Salute. What's going on, brother? Um, yeah, I don't want to beat them if they're not at their best, regardless. That's just how I believe it. But hope that he make a speedy recovery. Um, Obviously, some people think the Bears are going to win the division as well too. I mean, we had a lot of that last year. The Bears going to win the division, and the Bears and Packers finished off their respective seasons. Um, Hot as fish grease last year. We see if that's going to carry over, and just a little brief review real quick of that Rams game last night. Yeah, it was just to the point where not the Rams, the Packers and Eagles game. It was sloppy. The field was a football field, a soccer field, as we would say in America. So it was a lot of slipping and it was a lot of slipping and uh it was a lot of slipping on the field last night. But what we seen is Josh Jacobs gonna be a problem. And hold on real quick, you know, but a lot of slipping on the field and all that type of stuff. So yeah, but eventually they got used to it, and it was a good game. It was sloppy. Both quarterbacks threw some bad balls. I mean, if you didn't know the game came on, it was exclusively on Peacock. So I think it was like $5 you had to pay to have Peacock, this NBC streaming platform, and at some point, everything is going to go to a streaming platform. Cable is going to be obsolete at some point, I believe. So he said I need three good leg parlay game for same ground. I haven't really looked at it, but hold that question and we'll look at it at the end. That's a good point. Hold that question and we'll do it at the end. So Dixie, I'll do it at the end. Shout out to Kobe. What's going on? So yeah, we got a game. I mean, obviously, I think the Rams took another blow. Somebody else got it. One of their cornerbacks was thought to be back. For this game, and Darius Williams was thought to be back for this game. He won't be back for this game. He went on the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list, and I'm guessing he wanted a starting defensive backs. So Rams cornerback Darius Williams goes on IR from the camp injury. They placed Darius Williams on IR. He had a hamstring injury, so he out for the first 4 games. But they said he's doing good, but they said last week the expectation was that Williams would be ready to go for week 1, and obviously that ain't really the expectation right now. He's gonna miss the first 4 games, and at the end of the day, it's still early. And then when you kind of go over there and you look at what they got, as far as at corner, I mean, they lose Aaron Donald to retirement. And at the cornerback, Tre'Davious White, I think he came off two blown ACLs. Um, so he came from the Bills. Kobe Durant, not sure who that is to be honest. Uh, he was a fourth round pick a couple seasons ago. Out of South Carolina State, HBCU. Shout out to them. Uh, so he had three picks his rookie year last year. Played 16 games. I mean, didn't get a pick last year. So at the end of the day, not sure all they got at the cornerback position. So this should be a good spot for St. Brown, Jameson Williams to show what they can do out there. Tre'Davious White, I mean, like I said, I think he overcame, you know, two two gruesome knee injuries. He had 29 years old. I didn't know he was only 5'9", so I thought he was, much taller than that. But you look at his statistics, for the most part, uh for 10 games the last two seasons, got injured last two seasons. So, he was one of the best corners for quite some time. And for the most part, his career ran its course with the two, I think, ACL injuries or lower body injuries. So they secondary, it ain't all that. And then up front, I think this was is it Kobe Turner? This is the guy that they um that really took over last year, next to Aaron Donald. This is the guy that they're pretty much banking on to be that guy on that defensive line and create pressure. And he's really, really good. So he's going to be taking over for Aaron Donald. So, but other than that, it's a bunch of guys that you really, don't notice. Uh, and then you look at the, offensive line, left and right tackle may, be out. Um, but Puka Nakua, Cooper Cup, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell. I think this is the rookie they got that a lot of people like. Yep, 6th round pick out of Texas, Jordan with Winnington. He's been making a lot of noise, I think, in camp. So, but yeah, kind of when you start to look at what they got, really, um, when you got a messed up offensive line as they do with some injuries and stuff, I think the number one thing, excuse me, my bad, it opened up in the window. I'm clicking and didn't know it. So the number one thing that you probably gonna look to do is run the ball, get the ball out hot. Um, for Matthew Stafford and them, and Stafford been playing well, but if you could miss your starting two tackles, um, Jonah Jackson has slid into center for them. So if that's gonna happen, they're gonna have to lean on Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, Kyron out the backfield. They're going to lean on Matthew Stafford, throwing short passes early on, and then to get the deep ball going, it's probably going to be a lot of play action going there. So, quite frankly, it should be a very interesting game. It should be a high scoring game. And to be honest, in my fantasy football talk, we talked about fading both defenses, but if I had to play one defense, it most likely would be um, the Lions defense in this spot, simply because of all the injuries and stuff that's going on. Uh, with the Rams offensive line, a defensive backfield. I mean, but another thing also to look at is that the Lions had not played the offense this offseason. I mean, last offseason, it was the last preseason, it was the same thing. So they hadn't really played their offensive starters. So I mean, but this is a game where they favored by 4.5. I think the home team customarily gets 3.5 3 points. So they a point and a half even more favored than than they should be. And then, I mean, honestly, you can make a point. That spread was probably larger than that. I think you can probably make a point that, hey, they should maybe even be a touchdown favorite here. Um, but the rather unknown here is the fact that they hadn't really played their starters, and we don't know what the defensive backfield is honestly going to look like for the Lions. Um, come Sunday night. But like I said, they probably should be more than a touchdown favorite or around a touchdown favorite. The matchup predictor has them at 62.4% chance to win. The Rams 37.3. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think they should be a long shot to win this game. They should, the Rams kind of a long shot, but what Stafford did last season to lit them up. I mean, obviously we know it was Cam Sutton. We know it was some guys in which the defensive backfield was real, and Vidor. You know what I'm saying? He was, he now is what, third or fourth corner on the team, or fourth or fifth corner on the team, and that's because Emmanuel Mosley got injured. So now your two corners from last year, Cam Sutton, he with the Pittsburgh Steelers, 4-game suspension or 8-game suspension. Vitor is like your fourth or fifth corner right now. You add guys like Amick that's in the nickel. You add guys like Terrion Arnold, Carlton Davis, Ennis Rackstraw. So, um, so yeah, it looks pretty promising for them. And obviously, we don't know if the right tackle is going to play. He's questionable. And right now, Melifanu, the only one that really concerns you, he's doubtful. And DJ Reader is questionable. So usually questionable means they probably going to play. But F.A. Melifano's doubtful. We learned that it's an ankle injury. So, I mean, it's the only knock on him. And probably why he ain't a perennial all-pro or pro bowler is because he always injured. So, uh, but but yeah, I mean, they got plenty enough, pieces there. I like the way Brandon Joseph played this offseason as far as I like the way Brandon Joseph played this offseason as safety for them. He was a guy that made a lot of noise last year for them. So, quite frankly, man, this is gonna be a fun game. It's the highest point total on the books in Vegas. I think 51.5 is the over under. I think it's a safe bet, which, I would 52.5 now. I think it was 51 at one point. That means total points scored between both teams. Now, in my humble opinion, could that point total be under? Absolutely. It's always a chance that a point total can hit the under, in my opinion. Uh, that always can happen. But the Lions not playing in the preseason. They didn't play last year. They played a really good Kansas City defense last year. So, but quite frankly, man, I think with that, I would pretty much safe to say that's the guy that asked about the same game parlay. That's pretty much probably a safe bet for the Detroit Lions to honestly um the Rams to hit the over. So for the most part, they at least got to score 26 points apiece to hit, or 27 points apiece to hit the over. I just really see this being a really big scoring game, in my opinion. Shout out to B. Taylor. What's going on, bro? He says, take Jameson Williams, 42 yards plus receiving, rushing prop, bet easy money, added to your parlay ticket. So that's what he's telling you, Dixie, to add that. Um, yeah, a lot of people ate off that parlay last night. I seen a lot of people have a good parlay with the Packers and the Eagles. They scored a lot of points. I mean, Saquon scored 3 touchdowns. Jaden Reed scored a touchdown. Christian Watson scored a touchdown. Um, so for the most part, I mean, you got something similar. Tonight. I don't know what the over and under was for the Packers and the Eagles, but I imagine it was pretty high. Um, so the Lions opened at 3.5 point favorites. Excuse me, on ESPN, but bet now it's up a point, which is kind of crazy to me. I thought it would open up a lot closer to 7. But I guess the injuries and all that eventually played a part, and they opened up at 51.5 points. So, Rams messed up defensive backfield, Lions new defensive backfield, all over the place. When you look at the Lions defensive backfield, it's new shit all up over the place. You got a new nickel, Amick Robertson. Your old nickel is moving a strong safety in Brian Branch. Kirby Joseph coming off a hip free safety. He the only mainstay from last year in the defensive backfield. Brian Branch coming off ankle. Amick Robertson is only one that been healthy out of the 5. He your new nickel. Terrion Arnold had a chest injury. He a rookie. Quinyon Mitchell played really well last night. He made a mistake and let a crossing route, get down the field, peeking in the backfield, but he played well last night. So Terrion and Quinyon Mitchell in Philadelphia Eagles history is always going to be tied together. They took Quinyon off over Terrion, but Quinyon they started nickelback. Terrion is our second starting cornerback, so a little bit different there. Um, and then you got Carlton Davis. I hope I don't get his name wrong. Carlton Davis. He is uh had a hamstring issue, so he playing for a check. He gonna miss a few games, and that's probably why they had no issue bringing back Vidor and bringing in Ennis Rackstraw. So, but yeah, it's interesting there, man. So it's a whole new defensive backfield. Um, Defensive line has got some newcomers there. I mean, I would just say, Levi Onwuzurike is a newcomer because he's a new man. DJ Reader is a newcomer. Marcus Davenport, when he does play, he's phenomenal, but can't bank on him. So you got, three new guys right then and there. You're probably going to see more Broderick Martin in run situations. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson. You bring back James Houston. Kaminsky gone until next year. Don't even know if he's going to come back. Return date of January 5th. So you got some new guys across that defensive line. You're gonna see Onwuzurike play a lot of defensive end as well too. Shout out to Michael Mike, salute, bro. Um, and B Taylor said, "What up?" He said, "Waiting for you." He said, "Your channel." He be bullshitting, bro. He be bullshitting. He should start a channel. It's too controversial. That's why your channel will be good. Yeah. Stop and just don't break the rules. A lot of people can't help but to break the rules on YouTube. That's why you get the Patreon to break the rules. But but yeah, on a real serious note, man, I think this is probably like when you look at the slate, uh when you look at the slate, let me see if we can pull up the slate real quick. Uh when you look at the slate, this is probably the most entertaining game. Now that game last night gonna be tough to, tough to match. But when you look at this slate going forward this season, this and I'll give y'all some picks too. I do that at the end questions picks, and I answer his betting question, same game parlay bet. Uh, but when you look at it, Pittsburgh, Atlanta, heard Russell Wilson, he may not play. I mean, that's an interesting game. Arizona, Buffalo, that's an interesting game. Tennessee, Chicago, to see Will Levis and Caleb Williams square off, that's an interesting game. New England, Cincinnati, don't really care about it. Houston, Indianapolis, that's a really good game. Tickets low as $38 is wild. Jacksonville, Miami, that's a good game in my opinion. Carolina, New Orleans, I mean, if you want to see Bryce Young, Minnesota, New York, trash. Vegas and the Chargers, solid. Denver, Seattle, don't really care. The Russell Wilson Bowl. Dallas and Cleveland is going to be a really good one. I think Deshaun Watson may be done out here in these streets. Washington and Tampa, Jane Daniels' debut. But really, the Lions and the Rams really might be the most electric game on the slate. I know everybody looking forward to Aaron Rodgers going back to Northern California versus the San Francisco 49ers, but we don't know if he's going to be healthy or not, but that's a good game too. So really when I look at this slate, the best games is San Francisco, New York, or New York Jets traveling to San Francisco, the Rams traveling to Detroit. Storyline, we're gonna have the best fans or the best experience there. I say Houston and Indianapolis before CJ Stroud went down last year. Anthony Richardson was busting his ass. He was supposed to be the next CJ Stroud. And then I would say those are the three best games on the slate. But it's a lot of solid games on the slate. Um, I would say it's a lot of solid games on the slate, man, for real, man. So it's a great week one. And then you got Thursday night football with the Dolphins and the Bills turning around on Thursday night football. I remember they used to wait a couple weeks, before they made that. But, like I said before, I think golf is in a good spot as well. I think golf is in a tremendous spot tomorrow night. When you look at Jared Goff, he going against no Aaron Donald. Defensive backfield is kind of shredded for them. Injuries back there. Obviously Jalen Ramsey been long removed. Shout out to him. He just got paid. So when you start to look around the NFL and start to look around Los Angeles Rams and look what they have, he should be in a good spot. They should run the ball pretty well tomorrow. And we should see some new wrinkles. I heard they won't let Sam Laporta loose. So I look forward to that. So, but to be honest, it's a good spot for fantasy football, a bunch of points scored. And I look forward to seeing the new defensive backfield. I look forward to is how they gonna mix. I want to see how they was gonna mix in. Hold on one second. I want to see how they gonna sit there and mix in Fa Melifano when he get. Yeah, I want to see how they gonna mix in Melifano when he get in there or whatever. But um, Gibbs, Montgomery tomorrow. No Aaron Donald. I want to see how they make the adjustment. Kobe Turner is nice for sure for them, but I want to see how they're gonna make the adjustment. Obviously, the biggest prize of tomorrow night is Jamison Williams. I think everybody want to see what he did in OTAs, mini camp, training camp. Will it translate to the regular season? How will they use him? He's a problem with the ball in his hand. I mean, when you get the ball in his hand, you see what Xavier Worthy did. He stole his play in Kansas City and scored on Monday night. Will they just find a way to get the ball in his hand? Last year was a point where a lot of people thought it was best for them to amicably split ways, the Lions and Jamison Williams, because they just apparently said they didn't trust him. He was dropping balls, but then when they started to get him into a rhythm, you started to see what he can do with the ball in his hand. It's just not a point where he's getting the football and he's just a deep threat. I mean, he's a guy like, end arounds, short passes. He breaking tackles and he doing stuff yards after the catch. He's elusive. Kind of like, Golden Tate St. Brown a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So what he can do with the ball in his hand, I think you'll see a lot of bubble screens, jailbreak screens. I think you're gonna see a lot of RPOs to him, and that's gonna make him a little bit more deadlier because if he's gonna do end arounds or he's gonna do screens, so do you give him 10-yard cushion? You know what I'm saying? Do you bump him? You know what I'm saying? And then hopefully if you bump him, keep somebody over the top. So his skill set is makes what they can do a little bit more complex. Because do you play off and then they just throw the ball hot to him and he get off? Do you play close and if you play close, if you can beat press coverage, it's probably six. He probably can outrun the cover. So you're gonna move him inside, you're gonna move him outside, you're gonna do screens, you're gonna do end arounds with him. But it's good that he's just not a run trick pony. I think that's kind of what separates guys like Marquise Goodwin and obviously not being healthy is that some guys are just what is it vertically fast. You know what I'm saying? Some guys are just fast in a straight line. And when you look at Xavier Worthy, Jameson Williams, guys like that, they're good with the football in their hand regardless. Deshaun Jackson was pretty good with his football in his hand, but he was more of a vertical threat. Those guys like them, when you get the ball in their hand, they breaking tackles, they running different routes. So it's gonna be interesting. I think that's the most intriguing thing is how they use him. And I think offensively, the other intriguing thing is it's a few storylines going into this game. Jahmyr Gibbs, Gibbs and Jameson Williams gives them a whole different type of uh uh they give them a whole different type of a look because now you got two guys that they touch the ball, they could be sick. So I want to see how they're gonna use him. There's been a lot of talk about him playing the slot, playing receiver. I want to see how they really use him in the passing game a little bit more. That's kind of I'm kind of interested to see how how Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be utilized in that passing game. So a lot more. And Montgomery is Montgomery, but also how Jared Goff responds. There's been a lot of slander. A lot of people kind of like, oh, he's a top 10 quarterback, but really not a top 10 quarterback. And they've been overlooking, they've been overlooking Jared Goff for a long time. So he just don't get his just due. They didn't lose the NFC Championship game because of him. Obviously, they won, all their playoff games because of him. Last year, he had a bad patch. Around that Thanksgiving game with Green Bay, he was turning the ball over. I don't really know if it was an injury or he just was in a funk. But by the time that playoffs came around, he was playing pretty much flawless football. They was in a groove, and they didn't lose because of him. I mean, he threw a lot of darts on point. Um, in LA versus Tampa, or versus LA versus Tampa, and even in the NFC Championship game. We had two bad balls that I remember. It was the ball before the half where did they kick the field goal and he missed Jahmyr Gibbs on an angle route. I think he was on like some type of angle route. He missed him. He missed him for 6, and that probably would have been the game right then and there. But he missed him, and I just think Jahmyr Gibbs, for the most part, he really struggled in the passing game last year. There were some drops there. I think he really wasn't in sync with Jared Goff. And I think it was more about Jahmyr Gibbs, what they threw on his plate. It took him a while to really settle in. Like when they threw him into the fire, once Montgomery got injured, he started to take off. But I think he struggled to pick up the passing game last year. So I think that's something that needs to be said. And then he had the ball to Josh Reynolds where he threw it in the dirt, which the play before set a bad precedent for that, where they knew they was going for it on 4th down and they handed the ball off to St. Brown and tried to outsmart themselves in the backfield, and they didn't get 1 or 2 yards. They moved back a yard or whatever, and then he picked up his feet and he threw the ball in the dirt to a 6'3" receiver in Josh Reynolds. Those are only two bad plays they had. And hopefully this offseason he worked on his pocket mobility where you pick up your feet and you throw it. That's what he should be doing. Moving his feet and throwing it. Every time he move his feet, the ball going in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he want to change his arm angle, his arm trajectory, or whatever it is, but that's the only thing I really see a knock on him is that his pocket mobility. When he got to slide or he got to escape the pocket, that ball going in the dirt. So that's the only real, weakness I really see from him. But then Sam Laporta is another good offensive storyline there. What made it interesting, in I think the last preseason game, they said that Ben Johnson said they haven't even scratched the surface on what they want to do with Sam Laporta. So I think that's very interesting that they don't really they have so much more they want to do with Sam Laporta. I don't know what that could be. He had a great season last year. Is that more vertical seam routes? Is that more corner routes? Is that more blocking and releasing? Is that more tight end screens? Is that more him, being the up back out the backfield? Is that splitting them wide or playing more in the slot? Is that just getting the ball in his hand? So, apparently we know the vocal point of this offense this year. The first 2 layers is running the football. The second layer is getting the ball to Sam Laporta and St. Brown. And you kind of think, like, what else more can they do with Sam Laporta and St. Brown? That's what I want to know. What more fucking can they do with them? So I look forward to it. More switch routes, more, flanking them, flanking, Sam Laporta. Is it more, St. Brown playing on the outside? Is it, getting him more vertical? So they do a good job of crossing routes. They do a good job of them option routes, them, sitting in the zones and, them out routes, and they do a great job killing the short to intermediate side parts of the field, and that all allowed to happen because of the run game. So when you got to respect the run game and think he may hand it off, guess what? That sink the defense in, and guess what? They running behind that defense. So, Jameson Williams is going to add an aspect to the team that Josh Reynolds couldn't. Josh Reynolds is good at moving the sticks. For what was his first 10 or 12 catches last year, went for a first time at least. But past that, the thing that DJ Shark brought to them is he opened them up. And last year, they started to hurt the Lions when they went through that rough patch right around when Goff started to struggle. They didn't really have anybody that could open the offense up as far as vertically. Nobody that you really fear getting down the field. And if they got to fear somebody vertically getting down the field from the receiver spot, that's going to open it up for everybody. So look forward to Jameson Williams. He's one of those fantasy plays where low floor, very high ceiling. As of what we know right now, if you don't play him and you like, yeah, I ain't playing him, and you go into the 3rd or 4th quarter, and then you go, you blink and now he got 20 fantasy points. Or, he fuck around and get 2 or 3 fantasy points, and that's it. You wait for that big play to go. So when you look at the offense, it's going to be a lot of Laporta, a lot of St. Brown, a lot of, the running backs doing their thing, but also we're just, Jameson Williams falling into that play, because if he falls into that DJ Shark, Josh Reynolds slot, that really ain't a lot of targets from what we've seen from them. They made some plays, about 5 to 7 targets, but like I said before, how much do they really trust him? Are they going to give him 10, 12, 15 targets? Are they going to give him 10, 12, 15 targets like they would, like they would St. Brown or like they would Sam Laporta? And that's gonna be the question. That's gonna be the question. Like I said, low floor, very, very high ceiling. So, either you're gonna be thank God you put him in your DFS lineup, thank God you put him in your Yahoo NFL lineup, or what I'm saying, you're gonna be like, you know, glad I'm bad that I picked this motherfucker up, or mad I didn't. So I really don't know how to look at it. So explosive this off season seemed to have a lot of connection. Offense looked pretty good. Offensive line. It's probably gonna be a little bit of problems there early on. They most likely been together, but Zephyr really ain't been there. This is first year there, so you might see some problems with the offensive line. You've seen the whole thing where Ronnie was that who was my man that played for the Baltimore Ravens? They kept saying lined up off sides. Man, I forget the brother's name. Is it Ronnie Stanley? And he really wasn't. He really wasn't lining up off sides. So I don't know, to be honest. But offensive line, it just takes some time for these guys to get into sync, and so them not playing preseason might be a little bit of rust there. So, but yeah, I think offense they should be straight. So we get to these questions. So RC OG in the game, been doing this for a long time. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while, bro. About to step it up with these live streams though. No Deshaun Watson slander, man. That nigga's done. Hold on real quick. That nigga's done. That nigga's done. You know what I'm saying? That nigga's done. So, shout out to Benjamin Foe. Shout out. What it looking like in Memphis, man? I heard y'all got a lot going down in Memphis, man. He said hopefully the crowd rattles Stafford a little. Yeah, his wife won't be there. She said for her mental health. So what about your husband's mental health when you was going around telling people you slept with the backup quarterback to get back at him? She always tell that story. Like, girl, go sit down. Debating on going to Michigan games, parking expensive. I've never been to the football game. I've been to the basketball game. I don't think parking was that expensive when I went to the basketball game. Football might be an upcharge, my boy. Might be an upcharge. Yeah. Ann Arbor, like, yeah, you're going to park in that little lot right there probably and shit like that. Yeah. I'm about to go see a slaughter. And then they saying I got to do a video. Sharon Moore ain't even on contract. So he on a game by game basis. He ain't even got a contract because of what's going on with the investigation with the cheating. J-Mo gonna detonate. That's what we hoping. Tonight is a great spot for him. LA got some issues in the backfield. Yeah, I seen Love. I had just turned the game off. I said, oh, Philly won. I woke up this morning and I seen the play where his knee popped or whatever. So yeah. That prop I bet posted is at one negative 120 120. Get money with me. It'd be better if it was at plus 120, but we'll take it. He said, no woman on earth cares about a man's mental health. Well, shit, niggas don't care about, men don't care about other men's mental health. You tell your homie, especially when you young, you tell your homie what's going on, niggas laugh at your ass. So you got to keep it a buck. Most men don't care about men's mental health. And we go through a lot, bro. We go through a lot, but, at the end of the day, hey, what's the worst thing they could do but kill you? What 50 Cent say? Death got to be easy because life is hard. It's hard. Hell yeah. That's why I say live it up, bro. Detroit money line is plus Detroit defense score. Yeah, hey, look here, man. Y'all getting funky with the Detroit scoring. If you're gonna do multiple parlays, hey, I ain't mad at you. But I do one in a minute. Kirby Joseph going crazy like usual. Oh, Matthew Stafford don't like him. They might put a crackback on him. Remember they had put a bounty on Golden Tate, the Dallas Cowboys. He was tearing them motherfuckers out the frame. He was tearing them up, blocking them. He had put like 3 or 4 or 5 Cowboys out between his time in Seattle and Detroit. He was tearing them up. Yeah, Golden Tate forever be one of my favorite Lions. Remind me of Hines Ward a little bit. Hines Ward used to be tearing dudes up too. People forget Hines Ward was a quarterback at Georgia. I don't even know how we can even hate the Steelers. Like, thanks for that heads and tails, Jerome Bettis on Thanksgiving. I don't hate the Steelers unless we playing them. I really don't care for. I hate them. I hate the Cowboys though. I don't play nothing but NFL. That's all I play. I play NBA every now and again. For real, but NBA ain't been too. I don't know because the Pistons ain't good or whatever. But yeah. He said you ain't lying. Yeah, nigga, nobody care about your mental health, bro, at all. About man, that's why a lot of dudes checking out. Nobody's talking about that. You know, more guys check out in America than women get diagnosed with breast cancer. Like you would never know that. You would never know that. More dudes deal with self deletion than women deal get diagnosed with breast cancer. Real talk. So there's some things they just don't tell. I mean, I just work out and just start to stack your bread up, and that's my best advice to y'all, man. Work out, stack your bread up, pray, and put yourself first most of the time. But yeah, it's tough out. It's definitely tough out here, bro. Like I got gray hairs already coming in. I ain't even 40. So it's definitely tough. I'm struggling like everybody else. We smile through the pain. Trust me, I'm struggling like all y'all. But it is what it is. But also on the defensive side of things, the Lions have done they've done a lot of great things defensively. I mean, I heard Aaron Glenn, he made a comment on Aiden Hutchinson I want to talk about real quick. Yeah, he made a comment on Aiden Hutchinson and said that let me see real quick. That it's probably time for him. He had a great offseason. Time for him to take the throne as NFL's best defensive player. So uh uh so I found this kind of interesting. It says Lion defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn sets the bar high, sets the bar a notch higher for Aiden Hutchinson this year. So he said, man, via John Macron from the SI, here's what Glenn had to say about Hutchinson. Listen, Hutch has had a tremendous offseason, had a tremendous training camp, and now he's at the point where he needs to set his sights at being, if not the best defensive player in the league, then one of the best, which he is. But now it's time for him to make himself the best player. So there you have it. I mean, kind of been on the quiet tip about Aiden Hutchinson this offseason. Um, but you know, last year a lot of people started to turn on him a little bit. Um, Remember, he went that stretch without a sack, but he didn't have no help. You know what I'm saying? And then Lee McNeil finally stepped up and he became a force in the middle. Pascal, he would be in and out the lineup. James Houston went down early. So it really was just, him getting off the glass, getting it off the muscle. So kind of when you look at Aiden Hutchinson, you got to understand it takes two. And then Aaron Glenn, he took a lot of flack last year, man. We was talking about, man, get rid of him. But then again, he made the adjustment. He found out F.A. Melifanu was one of the best blitzers in the NFL. You don't know if he was coming or going. No, did he? But yeah, so he did a great job disguising and doing what he did. You gotta remember, Cam Sutton, to be honest, he looked pretty bad after he suffered a toe injury. Nobody really talked about that with Cam Sutton. I think Cam Sutton suffered a toe injury right before or during the Chargers game. And when he suffered that injury, dude, it went completely downhill from there for him. So he really was, making wine out of sewage water with that defensive backfield. And, he got Melifanu back. They found a way to lose him. So, quite frankly, Aiden Hutchinson, he ain't had no help. Davenport, will he help? I wouldn't bet on it, but he's just never healthy, talented guy. I just know how frustrating he is. I got some New Orleans Saints homies. They just hate that dude's guts. But then you turn around and talk about guys like Houston, who had a training camp and coming off a broken leg, probably ain't easy. Pascal is probably one of the more talented guys on the Lions. I mean, every time he play, he's a force. He in the backfield every time he play. Between him and a healthy Zorky, when they play, they in the backfield every down. That Kansas City Chiefs game last year, I can make a case they pretty much won that game because Josh Pascal's penetration. Like when Pascal, man, like he's an elite talent once he's healthy. He's always in the backfield, stopping the run. So he just ain't never been healthy. You know what I'm saying? Throughout his whole career, he dealt with illnesses, dealt with his knick-knack injuries, groins. But if he can stay healthy, that's enough help. And Anazorki, we heard with Anzarike, we heard what Kevin Ziefer said. He said Lions got two $20+ million defensive tackles. And Anzarike, didn't think he could survive that back injury, but because Shaq Leonard, aka Darius Leonard, played for the Colts, played for the Eagles last season. I don't know if he's still there. He had the same injury, and he was an all-pro defensive, linebacker. And then he had that injury, and he just never was the same. So Anzarike was lucky enough to be young enough to probably and light enough because he's not a big guy as far as today's defensive tackle, 300+ pounds. I mean, I think when he came in, he was 271, 275. Now he got up to 279. So yeah, like a lot of help could be on the way if you can get a healthy Pascal, you can get a healthy Davenport, if you can get a healthy Levi Anzarike, and obviously that's the theme: healthy, 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 healthy. Can you get healthy? And that's kind of the Brad Holmes issue. We see an article about why why he drafts injury prone guys, because he had a life threatening car accident and all that stuff. So he sympathizes with a lot of those guys. So I definitely understand that. But yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, a little bit of help. If he can get a lot of bit of help, defensive line on paper can look really, really good. They got guys, they got power, they got guys, they got speed, they got, and Broderick Martin, like he lost a lot of weight this offseason. So maybe you can get him a little bit more on passing downs than just run downs. The guy name I was looking for in the last live stream was Benito Jones. I forgot about, we had Benito Jones here for a while. I don't think he's still on the team. I definitely could be wrong about that. I think Benito Jones is gone. But that's who I was thinking of. I know we kept saying Isaiah Buggs. So yeah, he's still in the Detroit Lions. Yeah, he's still with the Lions. Or maybe the Miami Dolphins. So they saying the Miami Dolphins. He on the Miami Dolphins now, so he gone. but yeah, they pretty much remade that defensive line real talk. Like it's very, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. It's a very interesting defensive line once you look at it. Because you look, Davenport, McNeil, Reader. Now when you talk about DJ Reader, new addition, Aiden Hutchinson. Reader's more of a run plugger, but can get some sacks there. I mean, so he had not really a sack guy. He more of a stop the run plugger, eat up space. At 6'3", 335, eat up space type of guy, and so everybody else can eat. So him and McNeil is gonna give you a great 1-2 punch on the inside, as far as strength wise. And McNeil is real twitchy. He had 5 sacks last year, a bunch of tackles. So, and then once you kind of come back from looking at them, you got 2 athletic guys behind them. You know what I'm saying? You got Makai Wingo, athletic, Anazorki, athletic, and don't forget, Hutchinson can go on the inside, and don't forget Pascal can play on the inside. So yeah, they got a lot of diversity across that defensive line. Behind Hutch, you got James Houston with a lot of speed. Behind Davenport, who got a lot of speed and athleticism, you got Pascal with a lot of power and some athleticism. So yeah, it's a good little mix there. I don't see Broderick Martin there, so I don't know why he ain't on the depth chart. So yeah, but they got Broderick Martin. So let's see what happened. Let's see what happened with him. So let's see what happened with him real quick. But they got Broderick Martin out there. So yeah, I don't see him. Let's pass him. I know they ain't cut him, so I don't know why he ain't on the website. You got Patport, Hutch, McNeil, Anazorki, Pascal, Reader, Makai Wingo. So I don't know what happened with Broderick Martin. So quick Google search can help us with that. So yeah, see what happened with dog. Okay, he got placed on IR. So he got placed on IR. Didn't see this as news, so I'm pretty sure it's probably somebody in the comment section. So He got a little hyper. So I don't think it's anything long term, but it's enough sore for a little bit. So he got put on IR. Uh, so yeah, I didn't know that. So uh, one reason for those roster gymnastics because Martin took up the IR, the return spot, so he'd be returning. Bitten and marked for Lions defensive Jamal Kavitsky. So the NFL has a new rule that allows two players to be placed on the IR return as part of the 53-man roster. Cutting out any other player who the team wants to place on IR to return must take and stay on the 53-man roster for at least one full business day. Kaminsky is likely to be placed on IR with the torn MCL later this week, and Pico is most likely the candidate to come back. So Kaminsky on the IR, so Pico can come back. So Roger Martin to come back. So yeah, so he should be coming back at some point. So it don't sound too serious at all. So um, yep, that's a true fact. He said, "What's the number one improvement you looking for from the team?" Third quarter, offensively, more than anything, even more so than y'all can ask questions, I answer them. We'll look at a same game parlay and we'll go through these picks. So, yeah, for me, it's the third quarter. That was their biggest nemesis, more so than their offensively. The third quarter, more so than their, and it's cold as hell outside because it's cold in here, but more so than their defensive backfield, in my opinion. I think the third quarter, we seen the NFC Championship game all season. The third quarter, even when they went to Green Bay and won, the third quarter was shaky for them offensively. They came out lethargic in the third quarter, sloppy in the third quarter, and believe it or not, a lot of times last season, their defense really bailed them out in the third quarter. So, third quarter, I don't know what it was coming out the third quarter, what Ben Johnson did or didn't do, but they were a terrible offensive third quarter team. I said it time and time again. I don't know, like that was their biggest weakness last year more than anything. Said I want to see us take those kicks more. You got to have a kicker that you trust. The reason why he didn't take a lot of those kicks is because he didn't trust the kicker. You got to remember in the 1-point conversions, now they at the 30. That was the best rule change in modern sports history since the turn of the century in 2000. And since the 21st century, the greatest rule change was them moving the kick back to from the 2-yard, what was it, from the 2 or 5 yard line to the 30-yard line. That was the greatest rule change ever. That was, bar none, that was the greatest rule change in modern sports history. Real talk. By far. That might be short worthy. I hate signing in the FanDuel. Man, come on now. Sign to the sports book. Every time you log out the sports book, they want you to log back in, send a code. Like, look here, Playboy. How about just make me put my fingerprint in when I place a fucking bet? Excuse my language. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? How about you just maybe put my fingerprint in when I I know what you meant. Pascal, the truth, if he stay healthy, Robert Evans, salute. Yep. You think Hendon gonna get some burn? Early on, I wouldn't put a package in for him. I know what you're saying, putting the package in for him. Probably not. If the corners don't get torched, should the defense be top 10? Linebackers the only part of the team that's got cohesiveness. For real, other than Lee McNeil and A. Hudson, the defensive line is fairly the starters are fairly new. Everybody fairly new. Healthy Zorky, hopefully a healthy Pascal. They kind of been around, but not really played a lot. Houston really wasn't around last year. Makai Wingo new. Hopefully you get Broderick Martin back in a minute. I don't think you probably don't get Kaminsky back, but Pascal. So yeah, you should see some improvement there. It could be top 10. But it's gonna take time for that defensive backfield to gel. I'm telling you. Carlton Davis known to have some lapses to get burnt there. So but it's gonna be some time for that defense coming together. It ain't gonna look good early on, I don't think. Especially that defensive backfield. It's gonna take time. Even if they're running a lot of man-to-man coverage. But it's gonna take time. Everybody got a new position. Stafford is used to the crowd noise at Ford Field. They will be a non. I disagree with that. This a different crowd noise. You seen last year. They defensive backfield was just bad last year. But yeah, let's look at this same game parlay. We'll do some picks. Yeah, we'll do some picks. Uh, and that'll be it. If you have any other questions, I answer them. So here we are. This is what they suggest. This was going around. 1,085 people placed this. Um, Kyron Williams, David Montgomery to score a touchdown. All to score a touchdown. Kyron Williams, David Montgomery, Ahmad Ra, Cooper Cup, any game, any time touchdowns. $10 get you plus 13.85, get you $138.50. If you slash that in half, what's that about? If you bet the 5, that gets you about $70. So yeah. So I mean you can do that. I'll show you kind of what I'm into a little bit. Touchdown scores. I would do probably a couple of them. Touchdown scores. Anytime, first, last. I mean, I don't even fuck with first and last. Not in the slate I care. So nobody really got a Cooper Cup, and they expect all these guys to score a touchdown. That's why they're in the negatives. The plus you see here. So if you really wanted to get freaky with it, to be honest, if you really wanted to get freaky with it, you really believe what J-Mo can do, you can go J-Mo. You can do all touchdown if you want to. And if I had to pick a couple guys, I'd probably say J-Mo. I think J-Mo, Sam Laporta. If I really wanted to say, I think they both get in there. I'm gonna believe the J-Mo hype. I definitely think a lot of these guys gonna get in. I mean, if you want to, put one of these guys here, or definitely one of these guys gonna, a couple of these guys gonna get in. But let's just for this sake of this same game parlay, I'm just gonna say, well, I want to win a bunch of money and take a chance, right? And I'll do a safe one. So I think they get in. All right, then we can, I really don't mess with defensive scores, not on the parlay. I just straight bet those. So then you go down here. I like the receiving yards, passing yards too. But I like the receiving yards, passing yards. You can look at what Goff gonna do. I think he's gonna have a straight day. When he get over 275, maybe that might be a little bit of a stretch. But I'll say those for later. So receiving yards, I think St. Brown probably gonna have a big day. 90 plus yards, get you 106. So I think he had 90. That's just me. Jameson Williams, how many receiving? He probably gonna get 140 plus. But if I wanted to get freaky, I'm gonna say he get 50 plus, right? If I really wanted to, do the thing, Cooper Cup, probably gonna have a really good day. His numbers out there, I think he at least get 80 out there. That's what I'm gonna say. And then you got Puka Nacua, had a big time game last year. Will he get 80 plus? Yeah. I'll play it safe and say, man, for the sake we going all out, I say he get 80 plus too. They gonna throw the ball a lot, right? So you can do Kyron receiving, but let's just do some rushing, and I end this one off with some rushing. So let's see if we get some rushing yards here. So that's some rushing yards here. So all his shit's pretty, it's pretty doable. I think Jameer can get 60. Why not? This is a far out same game parlay. This is like, you put the 5 or the 10 on this one. David Montgomery, maybe I'll just leave him be. But I'm just probably I'm gonna roll with this 7-game leg parlay, and then let's do some passing yards. Right. And I said I'd come back to that. Let's say I play it safe. I say Goff get 225. He should be able to get that. And Matthew Stafford gonna throw the ball a lot. His shit gonna be high as hell. So I say Stafford get 225, 9-game parlay. Put the 5 in there. The 5 get you $1,900. You want to get freaky with that? The 10 ball hit you $3,889. if you wanted to do that. So yeah, if you wanted to do that, oh my bad, y'all can't see it. Oh, y'all can see it on the side. If you wanted to, if you really wanted to get freaky with it, if you say shit, I believe what CJ saying. I want to be a baller. You want to be a boss? Gotta play. So $7,000, $77,000, almost $7,800. So I mean, I think that could happen. Like in the universe, I think all that can happen. I think J Mo can get in. I think Laporta can get in. I think I might keep this one for myself. Amar Rod get 90 yards. I think J Mo have a 50 plus yards. I think Cup and the Cool can get 80. And I think Jameer Gibbs good for 6. I think that can happen. I might be crazy. I might be crazy. I do another safe one. I do a safer one. He's 70 plus for St. Brown. I think that's a safe bet. You think J-Mo under what? Under his under? Can Goff pass the J-Mo on time without eating the ball? He's only 3 seconds tops to throw it. I mean, I think he can. They've been clicking. I'm going off what I seen in camp, which could be totally wrong. No TD. I'm gonna go with them two. I'm going with a far out one. Them in the chat. It looks good. What up? Shout out to Chris. Shout out to New York. Salute, my Haitian brother. But yeah, that's just a safe one. That's a safe one. I mean, that's a far out one. A safe one, like for me. Obviously, what I showed you is safe because all these guys expect to score a touchdown. But I mean, I feel that one of the backs gonna get in. Both of the backs can get in, right? Both of the backs can get in. You know what I'm saying? So all three of these guys can get in. So I don't know. So you go with that, but just say, okay, let's go with a different looking one. Okay. So let's look. So you do receptions. You know what I'm saying? And when you start looking at receptions and shit, will Cooper Kupp have 8? Will he have 7? Will he have 6? Will he have 5? I mean, don't really know. Let's say he gets 7 receptions, 7 plus. I can see it. Right? Let's go down to Puka Nacua. I say, he should get 7 receptions. They're going to throw the ball out. I could be wrong. I think Amara St. Brown's another guy. Don't got too many receivers. We can say he good for 7, right? I think he good for 7 catches. J-Mo, I'm going to stay away from that dude on that one. Sam Laporta, think he's good for 5. Really, I go on the edge and say he good for 6. So you could do that, and then you can go turn around and a lot of y'all saying the unders. So let's do some unders. So over under 268 for Jared Goff, over under 273 for Matthew Stafford. That should be. I think Stafford maybe go to over. To the Goff, I'm not sure. So I'm gonna leave that alone. Rushing yards. Kyron Williams over under that new Lions defensive line. That should be interesting. So I'm not sure, but I think we already know Gibbs going over. So I'm feeling comfortable with Gibbs. I'm not sure about Kyron Williams. So not really sure about it. Player receiving. I know we said safe, but I'm not a safe guy as far as these parlays. So I like J-Mo over 39. Obviously, I said I like Cooper over. I like Puka Nacua over. I like St. Brown over, but let's leave St. Brown out of it. So you got another 9-leg stretch parlay. So I know. Put the 5 in there, $700. Put the 10 in there, $1,400. Put 15 in there, 21. Put 20 up in there, 28. So yeah. So basically what I went with on this one is Nacua plus 7 receptions. Cooper Kupp and Nacua plus 7 receptions. St. Brown plus 7. Sam Laporta plus 6 receptions. Stafford over 273.5. Gibbs over 54.5 rushing. J-Mo over 39.5 receiving. Cooper Kupp over 66.5 and Puka Nacua over 73.5. So yeah, just playing around with the same game parlay. So Yeah, it's playing around with it. Laporta TD, I like that. Maybe Ben Johnson would do 5 receiver sets. Yeah, Rams have no secondary whatsoever. I'm taking advantage of Jameson Williams' spot. Yeah, I ain't mad at that. I'm mad at that. I'm mad at that. St. Brown is plus 70 for a lot. I would agree with that. I think. I mean, I like him at plus 90 to be honest. Yeah, I like him at plus 90. So let me clear this out. I might play these just for the hell of playing them. Lord knows I need the money. Don't we all? All right, so let's do the picks, right? Y'all got any other questions? I'll answer them when I'm done with these picks. So let's do the picks. All right. So I already did pick some other channel. I think it should be similar. Uh I picked the Chiefs to beat the Ravens. And I want to say I picked the Eagles to beat the Packers. So you can check my other channel, Good Football TV. I did a whole NFL season, preview season, just check the lives, like the third one left. So yeah, I think I did that right. So here we go. All right. I'm just gonna pick money line. I'm just doing, I'm gonna bet this on Sunday though. These picks, unless something changed in injury report, I'm gonna bet these on Sunday. So um my boy out in Inkster, my boy I forget his name. He got me doing this. I never hit the same guard parlay like this. So Titans versus Bears. I like the Titans in this one. They going to Chicago. They the underdogs. They got Tyler Boyd from the Bengals, DeAndre Hopkins. Will Levis played well last year. They got another receiver too out there, man. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see if I can remember this brother's name. Calvin Ridley. So they got Calvin Ridley, and they still got one of the best defensive tackles in football, or defensive lineman Jeffrey Simons, and Harold Landry still out there. They quit old buddy Caleb from the Virginia Tech with a lot of injuries. L'Jarius Sneed out there. So I think it'll be a high scoring game, to be honest, as well. That's probably gonna hit the over for sure. And I kind of like Will Levis, dude. Will Levis was kind of balling last year. So yeah, Pittsburgh and Atlanta, that's gonna be a funky game right there. There's rumors that Russell Wilson may not play. We haven't seen Kirk Cousins since the Achilles injury. This one is one of those games where I don't really know. I don't know. If Fields play back at home in Atlanta, Atlanta got a talented football. I'm gonna just go with the reputation of the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin and their defense. So I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh, but because I haven't seen what Kirk Cousins look like. But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh. So another upset we rolling with. Over and under. I'm going to just be nice and say the over possibly. All right, this is another good one. Miami defense is like, it's I don't know. It's not really good, right? A lot of guys they paid didn't show up. Jacksonville got an actually really good defense. Josh Allen, I think he changed his name or something like that. They got some guys over there on defense, I believe. Miami got that offense though. Tua, they at home. Tua be rolling like he Tupac. So I think this actually be a good football game, to be honest. It might steal the slate on this one. And then when you look at what Jacksonville possesses on defense, Eric Armstead from the 49ers, Trayvon Walker, now Josh Allen. A lot of Lions fans want Devin Lloyd, linebacker from Utah, Chad Muama. I think he that athletic white boy at linebacker from Wyoming. Yep, that's him. Tyson Campbell at corner, Darnell Savage. Kind of scary at cornerback, though, with Ronald Darby out there. I didn't know he was still out here getting checks. Offensively, it's kind of where I think they kind of fall up a little short at. They got rid of Calvin Ridley, but they do got Gabe Davis from Buffalo. Christian Kirk is pretty good. Travis Etienne. This is going to be Evan Ingram. This is actually going to be a really good fucking football game, to be honest. This is going to be a good football game, in my opinion. Ooh, I don't remember who I picked. But I'm going to just pick Miami based off, what they got offensively. But it's going to be a good football game. This is going to be a phenomenal football game. And I low-key can see Jacksonville winning this game. That's going to be a good one, bro. New England and Buffalo and the Bengals, or the over and under, they're going to hit the over on that game, I believe. And if they hit the under, it's going to be because Jacksonville defense did their job. Um, Cincinnati, and probably, I don't know, take the under. I'm not sure. 40.5 is pretty low. I would say the under because Bengals start off slow. We don't know if the receiver's going to play. I got the Bengals, though. I don't think they're going to have a great year, though. Houston and Indianapolis. Whew, this is going to probably another game that could take the game of the week. Be a good one. They're going to Indianapolis, going to nap town. Ain't nothing there to do but take a nap. I'm going to go with Houston. But this will be a good one. They played them good last year in both of the games, I believe. I'm gonna go with Houston to come on the road. They're the favorites. They got all these new toys, and I think Stroud won't miss a beat. But Anthony Richardson just can't stay healthy. I think they hit the over on this one as well too. Minnesota, the Giants. Jesus Christ, give me another shitty game right here. So he said Pitts will be unlocked. Man, hey man, I got a homie, man, and I'm gonna keep everything anonymous. I got a homie. He might be listening. He listened to the replay. He ran into somebody in that Atlanta organization. They say that motherfucker Kyle Pitts is lazy. He put the lay in Z. They say he is very, very lazy. They say he is he lazy. He could be the best, but he's so lazy, bro. I'm like, damn, for real. But I like Kyle Pitts, but you don't know what Kirk Cousins look like coming off that Achilles. So, but Giants and Vikings, I can't call it, to be honest. Jesus Christ. I'm going to go with the Giants because I don't trust Sam Darnold. I'm going to go with the underdog Giants here. I don't know if they're going to hit I say they're going 41.5. They hit the over. I'm not confident. The Saints and Panthers, give me the New Orleans Saints defense over the Panthers. They lost the brother to the Giants, Brian Burns. The Saints defense is still solid. They still got Kamara, and the Panthers are just dysfunctional. They might hit the over on this one. I don't know. I'm gonna go say over. All right, but this is my upset lock of the week. This is my upset lock of the week right here. I know nobody's going to agree with me on this one. Nobody's going to agree with CJ on this one. But I like the Arizona Cardinals in this spot a lot. I like them to go to Buffalo. They finished last season hot. This is why I'm hot. You mad because you not. I like Kyler Murray and them to go into Buffalo and beat the Buffalo Bills. If you got Marvin Harrison Jr., if you got Kyler Murray, if you got James Conner, the running back, fire that ass up. McBride, the tight end, fire their ass up in fantasy. They will go to Buffalo. They will be in a shootout with Josh Allen, and Kyler Murray will reemerge or emerge as one of the better players in the league this year. I love Arizona, the over. I love them to cover the 6.5. Obviously, honestly, I like the over. I like them to go to Buffalo and defeat the Buffalo Bills. I like that. I like them at 2 plus 240. I love it. I love that spot they in. I might be in the minority, but I like the way Arizona finished the season last year. I like them. Raiders and Chargers division game, another solid one. Harbaugh debut, Gardner Minshew at quarterback. This is another interesting one. I don't remember who I picked for this game either in my last one. I'm gonna go. Damn, no Josh Jacobs. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I don't know. Well, they both scored. I believe they both will score 20 apiece, at least 21 apiece. So around 20 apiece. I think they will hit the over in that one. I might be in the minority, but I ain't too confident about that one. Yep, Calvin Ridley, add Stafford interception. Damn, I don't know. You might be right. He said Calvin Ridley. That's what I was thinking about. Traylon Burks ain't did shit over there. Yeah, Miami. I think Jacksonville can get Miami too. Colts in the under in the Colts game. I think they're gonna hit the over on that turf. Diggs, Tank Dell, all them guys they got in Indianapolis. The home team usually wins the first game of the year unless the away team is complete ass. Yeah. I don't know, man. It was a lot of upsets a couple years ago or last year. Broncos in Seattle, the Russell Wilson Toilet Bowl. Give me Seattle. I'm not a Bo Nix fan. They will probably score the over, but it'll be close. So yeah, Bo Nix for real. We're gonna find out. Dallas and Cleveland. Give me Cleveland in Cleveland. They'll be around that 20 plus 20 mark. So yeah, it'd be around 2020. Deshaun Watson gonna make a stand. No CD Lamb to start off, no running game for the Cowboys. Yeah, it's gonna be a close one. I'll say they probably hit the over in this one, but it'll be close. It'll be a defensive battle. So maybe I just go to under for the hell of it. But I like Cleveland. Amari Cooper versus old team. He about to get off. Jaden Daniels in Tampa. Give me Tampa. Tampa. They in Tampa. Tampa spanked that ass. We starting the 4 o'clock games now ever since the Chargers and the Raiders. So I got Tampa spanking that ass. It'll be around that score. They might be a little bit, might be the under in that one. I like Tampa over Washington. Washington ain't got no receivers neither. Los Angeles Rams in Detroit. Y'all know I got the Lions in this one. I like the over as well, too. So we already spoke about that game. So I like the Lions 34-33. But now knowing the injuries that the Rams got, I think it might be a little bit wider than that. I think we're going to probably go 24, 30, 31. I think it'll be 24, 30, 33-ish, somewhere in there. I didn't know they had that many injuries. So, yeah, kind of changed my mind. Jets and 49ers to end the slate. Give me the Jets for the upset. I don't know why. Fuck the 49ers. And it'll be, yeah, they'll be right around. I say the under in that one. It'll be a good competitive football game. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers stay healthy. So what we roll with: Tennessee, Pittsburgh, Miami, Cincinnati, Houston, Giants, Saints, Cardinals for the upset. That's my lock of the week. Chargers and my upset of the week. Seattle. Not sure about the Charger game though. Cleveland, Tampa, Detroit, New York Jets. What can $5 get you? $29,000, $30,000 if you strike if you play this and you're gonna lose your $5 though. But if you somehow there's a guy and you somehow hit this parlay, $5 for 30 bands, oh my God. And then this is Thursday night next week. So the Bills and Dolphins is next week, obviously. If you say you balling like B Taylor on their ass with the 50 ball, man, 300,000, oh, we gone. We gone. See you later, Michigan. I'm gone. I'm moving straight to Africa with that 300 racks, or straight to Belize with that 300 racks. See you ninjas later. Yeah. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Don't even, hey, man, shit, man. I'm out of here. 20 on serious note, 119. So, yeah, man, shit, if you hit ever on these 16 game parlays, man, you could be the man. You could be the man. Let's just, for the fun of it, before I get out of here, I go do my workout. I've been slipping the last couple of days. I needed a break, though. Let's just say, for the hell of it, right? Let's say you went with all the favorites, right? Let's say you went with all the favorites. All the favorites. You went with all the favorites. Which this definitely going to be some upsets week 1. Let's just say you went with all the favorites. So you went with all the favorites at $5. Get 1,600, 16.5, 10, 3,300, 15, 4,900, 20, 6,600, 25. Oh my bad, 25, 8,200. And you say you ball like B Taylor on these niggas, 16.5 for your ass. So yeah, that's all I got, man. I'll probably be live after the game tomorrow. Make sure I get me a little nap in or something like that. So you start seeing way more lives from me now, vertical lives, more desk lives. So we definitely going to step it up and get the channel back on track. Don't forget, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, I have to see why I'm not able to stream directly on the Facebook and YouTube. So I had to figure that out. I mean, on the Facebook and in X. So I'll figure that out a little bit later. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.